Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Shrimavuttam Sangha and attentive Japa. Let's continue where we left off last time. So now we're talking about Vṛtrāsura, the divine demon, and the demigods are finding very difficult to fight him, to kill him. So they approach Lord Narayan for help, and Lord Narayan suggests that you go to the Dichi and ask him for his bones. It's some different. Go to someone and say, "No, we would like you to die, and would like to use your bones to fight a demon." But the Dichi is a pure devotee. He can see the benefit in this, and he's happy to help. He's happy to give up his life because he understands his life is temporary anyway. So if it can be used for a higher purpose, then why not? It will die anyway one day. So let's continue. So Shri Sukadev Goswami said, after instructing Indra in this way, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Hari, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, then and there disappeared from the presence of the onlooking demigods. So Lord Narayan has advised and now he's gone. O King Parikshit, following the Lord's instructions, the demigod approached the Dichi, the son of Atharva. He was very liberal, and when they begged him to give them his body, he at once partially agreed. However, just to hear religious instructions from them, he smiled and jokingly spoke as follows. O elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe, unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Don't you know about this pain? In this material world, every living entity is very much addicted to his material body, struggling to keep his body forever. Everyone tries to protect it by all means, even at the sacrifice of all his possessions. Therefore, who would be prepared to give his body to anyone, even if it were demanded by Lord Vishnu? So it is said that Atmanam Sarvato Rakshe Tato Dharmam Tato Dhanam. One must protect his body by all means. Then he may protect his religious principles and thereafter his possessions. This is the natural desire of all living entities. No one wants to give up his body unless it is forcefully given away. Even though the demigod said they were demanding the Deity's body for the benefit in accordance with the order of Lord Vishnu, the Deity superficially refused to give them his body. So the Deity, internally he had agreed, but he just wanted to sort of, just have a play around with the demigod to see what they say. If he refuses, and but he understands that it is for high purpose, but also mentions here that it would be justified if he was to say, no, I can't give you my body because it's very important to me. So that would be okay as well, because I mean, would we give our body to someone, maybe might just give a kidney with someone we love very much, but we can, that's plus, we know we can still survive without having two kidneys. People just do that, but just say, "Oh, want your heart" or something. That would kill you. Many people would be willing to do that. So anyway, let's continue. The demigods replied, "O exalted Brahman, pious persons like you, whose activities are praiseworthy, are very kind and affectionate to people in general. What can't such pious souls give for the benefit of others? They can give everything, including their bodies." So this is the reply of the demigods. They're saying that you are exalted Brahman and you are very pious, and for a higher cause you would keep your life. We know that. Those who are too self-interested beg something from others, not knowing of others' pain. But if the beggar knew the difficulty of the giver, he would not ask for anything. Similarly, he who is able to give charity doesn't know the beggar's difficulty. For otherwise, he would not refuse to give the beggar anything he might want as charity. So they're saying that we're really desperate, we really need your help here. This verse describes two people, one who gives charity and one who begs for it. A beggar should not ask charity from a person who is in difficulty. Similarly, one who is able to give charity should not deny a beggar. These are the moral instructions of the Shastra. Chanakya Pandit says, San nimitte varam tyago vinishe niyate sati. So everything within this material world will be destroyed, and therefore one should use everything for good purposes. So this is also the instruction of Chanakya Pandit. If one is advanced in knowledge, he must always be prepared to sacrifice anything for a better cause. At the present moment, the entire world is in dangerous position under the spell of godless civilization. The Krishna consciousness movement needs many exalted, learned persons who will sacrifice their lives to revive God consciousness throughout the world. We therefore invite all men and women advanced in knowledge to join the Krishna conscious movement and sacrifice their lives for the great cause of reviving the God consciousness of human society. So this is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, that give your life. But Prabhupada is saying that, kill yourself or something. He's just saying that give this life of sense gratification and try to please the senses of Krishna. Just one life. You've had millions of lives. You've had enjoyment. We know we had enjoyment because we're still here. So just give this one life, just this life, whatever its portion is left, just offer that to Krishna. That's all. Nothing else is asked for. So let's pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Vandeshi Gurundin Taranam Paramnandamasum Shitadaneshram Pariyam Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Nur Uttamam Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Jem Uduriyet Nashta Preshu Abdureshun Nityam Bhagavat Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Nishtiki. Hare Krishna. So the greats said, the deity said, just to hear from you about these principles, I refuse to offer my body at your request. Now, although my body is extremely dear to me, I must give it up for your better purposes, since I know that it will leave me today or tomorrow anyway. So it's same with this, this body can go tomorrow. We don't know, it can go tonight. So we should use it for a higher purpose. Or demigods, one who has no compassion for humanity in its suffering and does not sacrifice its impermanent body for the higher causes of religious principles or eternal glory, is certainly pitied even by the immovable beings. So we should have Jiva Daya. We should be doing Jiva Daya. We should be learning things and then teaching others about Krishna consciousness so they don't miss out. In this regard, a very exotic example set by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan concerning Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said in the 11th canto, we offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Lord, upon whom one should always meditate. He left his household alive, leaving aside his eternal consort, so to my Lord Chaitanya, whom even the denizens of heaven adore. He went into the forest to deliver the fallen souls who are put into illusion by material energy. To accept sannyas means to commit civil suicide. So you're completely giving up material life. But sannyas is compulsory, at least for every Brahman, every first-class human being. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very young and beautiful wife and a very affectionate mother. Indeed, the affectionate dealings of his family members were so pleasing that even the demigods could not expect such happiness at home. Nevertheless, for the deliverance of all the fallen souls of the world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and left home when he was only 24 years old. He lived a very strict life as a sannyasi, refusing all bodily comforts. Similarly, his disciples, the 6 Goswamis, were ministers who held exalted positions in society but they also left everything to join the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srinivasacharya says, these Goswamis left their very comfortable lives as ministers, jamindars, and learned scholars, and joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement just to show mercy to the fallen souls of the world. Dina Ganeshikao Karunaya, accepting very humble lives as mendicants, wearing no more than loincloths and torn quilts. Kapina Kant. They lived in Vrindavan and followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order to excavate Vrindavan's lost glories. So here's the examples of, we can say, oh, well, Lord Chaitanya was God himself, he was here for a purpose and etc., etc. But it shows that there were the jivas who gave up their normal lives, normal sense gratification lives where they were, they had everything they could ask for, but they gave it all up for this higher purpose. If one is unhappy to see the distress of other living beings and happy to see their happiness, his religious principles are appreciated as imperishable by exalted persons who are considered pious and benevolent. One generally follows different types of religious principles or performs various occupational duties according to the body given to him by modes of material nature. In this verse, however, real religious principles are explained. Everyone should be unhappy to see others in distress and happy to see others happy. Atamvas sarva bhuteshu. One should feel the happiness and distress of others as his own. It is on this basis that the Buddhist religious principles of non-violence, ahimsa, param dharma, is established. We feel pain when someone disturbs us, and therefore we should not inflict pain upon other living beings. Lord Buddha's mission was to stop unnecessary animal killing, and therefore he preached that the greatest religious principle is non-violence. One cannot continue killing animals and at the same time be a religious man. That is the greatest hypocrisy. Jesus Christ said, do not kill, but hypocrites nevertheless maintain thousands of slaughterhouses while posing as Christians. Such hypocrisy is condemned in this verse. One should be happy to see others happy, and one should be unhappy to see others unhappy. That's the slogan. This is the principle to be followed. Unfortunately, at the present moment, so-called philanthropists and humanitarians advocate the happiness of humanity at the cost of the lives of poor animals. This is not recommended herein. This verse clearly says that one should be compassionate to all living entities, regardless of whether human, animal, tree, or plant. All living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Says in Bhagavad-Gita, Sarva Yuneshu Kunteya Murthya Sabhavanti Ya Tasam Brahma Mahad Yoni Aham Bij Parda Pita. Should be understood that all species of life, O Samakunti, are made possibly by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. The different forms of these living entities are only their external dresses. Every living being is actually a spirit soul, a part and parcel of God. Therefore, one should not favor only one kind of living being. A Vaishnava sees all living entities as part and parcel of God. As the Lord says in Bhagavad-Gita again, chapter 5, verse 18 and 1854. So in chapter 5, he says, Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavi Histani Shuni Cheva Svapakecha Pandita Samdarshina. And which means the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. And then in 1854, it says, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasutiti Nakangste Samhe Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mat Bhaktim Labhate Param. So one who is transcendently situated at once realizes Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. A Vaishnava, therefore, is truly a perfect person because he laments to see others unhappy and feels joy at seeing others happy. So, a person who does that is considered a Vaishnava, but obviously there's more things to Vaishnava than just that part. A Vaishnava is paradukha dukhi. He's always unhappy to see the conditioned souls in an unhappy state of materialism. So that is our unhappiness. That, like Prabhupada, when he saw people doing mundane things, playing mundane sports, spending time like that, he would become very unhappy. Tears will fall from his eyes because he's thinking, these people, they have been given this human life, this instrument for a special purpose, and they are wasting it on mundane things. They're given these five senses, the mind, these working senses, and they're using it for the wrong purpose. That they just don't know what its real purpose is. Somebody has to educate them, and it's a shame that so many have gone before, and so many will go without realizing, even understanding what the real purpose of the body was. It's like somebody gives you a iPhone. I think that's still the latest iPhone 15. Bring you the latest iPhone, but they don't tell you what it does. You've never seen an iPhone before, and so you think, well, what do I do with this? I don't know what to do with this. So you use it as a door stopper. So your door keeps closing. You need it open. You put the phone. You think, oh, this is actually just the right shape. Use it as a door stopper. This is what we're doing. We are given iPhone, like, and what's the latest?
15 Pro Max.
Yeah, still 15.
The Pro Max.
So, and we are using it as a door stopper. This is what we're doing with this body. We're using it for a purpose that it's not intended for. So, therefore, Vaishnava is always busy preaching Krishna consciousness through the world, because we should be using this body for the right purpose. This body, which is eatable by jackals and dogs after death, doesn't actually do any good for me, the spirit soul. It is usable only for a short time, it may perish at any moment. So there's like, it doesn't come with any guarantees. It doesn't have a 12 months guarantee or a 10-year guarantee or a lifetime guarantee. It can go anytime. It comes with expiry date, but we don't know what it says on the expiry date. What it is, we don't know, but it definitely comes with expiry date. The body and its possessions, its riches and relatives must all be engaged for the benefit of others, or else they will be sources of tribulation and misery. Excuse me. So Shukdev Goswami said, the Dichi Muni, the son of Atharva, was resolved to give his body to the service of the demigods. So he agreed that yes, it's the right thing to do. He placed himself, the spirit soul, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and in this way gave up his gross material body made of 5 elements. The Dichi Muni controlled his senses, life force, mind, and intelligence, and became absorbed in trance. Thus he got all his material bonds. He could not perceive how his material body became separated from his self. Thereafter, King Indra very firmly took up the thunderbolt manufactured by Vishwakarma from the bones of the Dichi. So they made a thunderbolt weapon from his bones, as requested by Narayan. So, in a way, the Dichi, he's allowed the demigods to take his body, to take his bones, and at the same time, he's fulfilled the instructions of Lord Narayan as well, or the wish of Lord Narayan. So, what could be more auspicious? Charged with the exalted power of the Rishi Muni and enlightened by the power of the Supreme Personality Godhead, Indra rode on the back of his carrier, Iravat, surrounded by all the demigods, while all the great sages offered him praise. So he shone very beautifully, pleasing the three worlds as he rode off to kill Vṛtrāsura. So now they're very confident. They have come to life because they're feeling that we can win this now. Mighty King Parikshit, as Rudra, being very angry at Antak, which is also Yamraj, had formally run towards Antak to kill him, Indra angrily and with great force attacked Vṛtrāsura, who was surrounded by the leaders of the demoniac armies. Thereafter, at the end of the Satya Yuga and the beginning of Treta Yuga, a fierce battle took place between the demigods and the demons on the bank of Narmada. O king, when all the Suras came into the battlefield, headed by Vṛtrāsura, they saw King Indra carrying thunderbolt and surrounded by the Rudras, Vasus, Adityas, Ashwini Kumaras, Pitas, Vanis, Maruts, Raghus, Sadhyas, and Vishdevas. Surrounded by his company, Indra shone so brightly that his effulgence was intolerable to the demons. So they're coming back with full force to attack the demonic armies. So we'll leave that here for today. And welcome to the program, Hina Mataji, Parveen Mataji, Punikaksh Prabhu, and Sarvashya Mataji. Please share your reflections. I'd love to hear from you. And we'll start with Sarvashya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. And when we've been discussing about mainly about the body, the deity's body and everybody's body. And everybody loves their body. Nobody wants to die. Everybody protects their body. And because it's been attachment of the soul and body are eternal. It's from time immemorial. The soul, we don't want to die, but the soul leaves us and forcefully taken away by the time. And we've got this body. It's nice to have the bodies. It's the chance to cross this material ocean of nescience and go back to Godhead. But we use it for sense gratification. And by having sense gratification, we have repeated death, birth, and suffering. And nowadays, this world has become godless. People don't believe in God. They think they're just carrying with their life. They take their life for granted. But some people, very charitable people, and Krishna conscious people, who make people God realization or Krishna conscious, so they can go back to Godhead. Many devotees, they sacrifice their life to save other people, to make them go back to Godhead. The example was given, they sacrifice their life, they sacrifice their body. Like example was given, Haridas Thakur and Jesus Christ. They suffered a lot. They were beaten so many times, and Lord Jesus was sacrificed even. But he kept on preaching about God conscious. And one should be kind, but be massive. That's why we are born. We should be kind to people and help them in Krishna consciousness. And our duty is to give charity to people who need charity. And the devotees, the pure devotees, when he sees anybody in distress, he feels for them and he tries to help them. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was the best charity he was doing was spreading Krishna consciousness. That's the highest charity one can do in this world. And even he was very merciful even to the animals. Even we should be not only to the human being, but to the animals and trees, we should be merciful to them. And while he was crossing the Jharkhand forest, he was even giving mercy to the animals by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and they were chanting as well. So life is very short. So we should engage our body accordingly and try to help those people who need help, give the charity, people who need charity, and make our body very useful, because one day we're gonna leave the body. So I mean, the death comes to everybody. So like Gadichi, he made his body very useful and give it to proper place to help the demigods against the demons. So we should use our body, mind, and words in Krishna consciousness and try to help people in this life. So in our next life, we'll have a better life than we have now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Mataji. So, yeah, I mean, when you read these examples, the impetus that if these people can do so much, why can't we even do this much? This is like not too much expected from us in the Kali Yuga, but really, we can't even do that because, our mind it disturbs us so much. Our senses are not in control. We really can't be how much good. We are prodding away, and then we find, oh, it's a Kadashi. Oh, now I have to control. I can't eat this. I can't eat this. And I think Kadashi is brilliant. It's a great thing because it slows down our momentum. We get carried away over the couple of weeks, and then just Kadashi, just a reminder: control your mind, control your senses. No, you can't have grain this day. Now you have to chant a bit more. You have to do some austerity like that. I think it's great that it's like they're like you could say speeding bumps. We're speeding away, and then the bump comes or Kadashi comes, slows us down. Instead of just speeding and speeding and speeding, not looking back, it slows us down, and then you go a bit further up, slows us down again, like that. So very important that we keep a check, because we don't keep a check, but Krishna has made systems where these checks are there to help us. And the thing is, Kali Yuga, it's got so many even defects in the one ashrama system. And Grista is supposed to give charity, but Gristas don't give charity. Some do, most don't give charity. This is one of the defects of Kali Yuga. This is our duty as a Grista to give charity. And as a Vānaprastha, people used to go to a forest, but now the defect is of Vānaprastha that they don't go to the forest, they stay home. They stay home with the family, waiting for their children to get married, to waiting for their grandchildren, and then they're waiting for their great-grandchildren, right? We stay home, we're looking for that happiness within the family. Sannyasis have a defect. Sannyasis in the Kali Yuga, they hold money. Sannyasis are not supposed to hold any money. They sleep from day to day. But in the Kali Yuga, sannyasis tend to hold money as well. They collect a lot of money. And then brahmacharis are not as clean as they used to be in the previous yugas. So there's a defect in everything. Thank you. Punikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Such a nice pastime. And without Bhagavatam, we will not be able to know about such devotees like Dadichi. Like as we say, it's not art of living, but it is art of dying. So he's showing an example of how you can even leave the body, not just live for this in the service of Lord. And the example you mentioned about iPhone is really nice. Like he used it as a door stopper because of not having the proper knowledge of it. And Paradukha Dukhi is the main quality of a Vaishnava. So I feel privilege. I mean, we not just animals, but within the human beings itself, we do so much of discrimination. Like within the house itself, I do discrimination with between my wife and daughter. So um, treat everyone equally and not to cause pain to anybody, even with words also, because even words are very hard to take. And it will really spoil the mood of chanting as well. If you're not being good to others. Um, yeah, that's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the words are more painful than a knife. They hurt more than a knife or a sword. So, we do tend to hurt each other by words all the time. And as we're discussing that, words land people into a lot of hot soup, into a lot of trouble. You see in the media all the time, so and so said something, and they are sacked straight away from very high position because they just uttered these words. Or somebody said something about the Olympian women in the Olympics. That's it, sack them, from right now because they said something. They made a joke about it like that. Words, they can be very dangerous. You have to be very careful what we say about anyone, about anything, even jokingly. We have to be very careful because they can have severe consequences. And we see throughout the history, in every yuga, wrong words have landed people into a lot of trouble, has caused great Mahabharats, right? So we have to be very careful. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hina Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, I think there's some very nice points that everyone's already made in these verses. And how the importance and how rare it's just making me think how rare the human form of life is. And now having obtained bodies that we have, that it should be used for the ultimate cause. That's the reason why we've got this human form of body, and it is to use in service for Krishna, and making the most of the time that we have left and using it for that higher purpose. I try to keep kind of reminding myself. I have a little slogan, and it's keep the main thing the main thing. So it's like wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, it's almost like always trying to link things back to Krishna. And how I can wherever that's at work or whatever I'm trying to do is how can I make this an offering to Krishna wherever I am. And just trying to keep the main thing, and that's him. And then the other point about how we should see our happiness and distress of others, of other living entities as our own. I think for me, it's about how do we develop this equal vision to recognize the super soul, to see the Paramatma in everybody, in every living entity, and it's almost having, there's that lovely little picture in the Bhagavad-Gita that captures that. So it's like looking past the externals of the external covering and just seeing him in everybody's heart, essentially. And I think that vision gives me the motivation to share Krishna consciousness with others. We're always trying to help others to wake up and try to connect them with Krishna. So that for me really helped me when I try it. Obviously it's always trying from me to just remind myself that he is situated in everybody's heart. Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Wonderful points, Mata. Yes, everything. The minimum should be karma yoga. We should be connecting all our karma with Krishna. He should go with the center. And yes, nice that if you're conscious of that how can I connect with this Krishna? What I'm doing, How am I connecting this Krishna or not? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Ratna. Yeah, well, I've got the same points everybody's said. So we have to understand the purpose of our life. What is the purpose really? You know, it's not sense gratification. We have to follow the instructions given by the Lord, Guru, and the Shastras. And there's an example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he gave up his life. You know, a lovely wife, affectionate mother, but to help the fallen souls, he gave up all that. So we have to learn and give our body and possession for the use benefit of others. We shouldn't be greedy, keeping everything to ourselves. And I like that shloka 5.80 Vidyavina Sampanne. So we have to see super soul in everybody, and we have to treat everybody the same. And like Purvikaksha Prabhu was saying about the words spoken, because sometimes people say, oh, I didn't say like this. I said, I had good intentions, but the impact might not be the same. So we have to understand, intention and impact can be different. So we have to be very careful with the words. And I like that Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. So we should feel the happiness and distress of the others. But now in Kali Yuga, people are like, they're happy to see other people in distress and unhappy to see other people happy. So it is the other way. So, but we are given this knowledge, so we should use it. And like Hitavataji said, she likes to bring Krishna in the center. I wouldn't say I'm able to do that, but like when in a difficult situation, then I always think, what is Krishna trying to tell me? What is Krishna's order, or what is he trying to teach me here? So thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, thing is, when we're born, we don't come with a manual, right? We don't come with the manual instructions. This instrument doesn't come with a manual. Manual is already there. It's there, and our parents should be guiding us. If the Vaishnavas, that they should be guiding us that this is a manual. Or if they're not Vaishnavas, if we're not Vaishnavas, then we go to the Vaishnavas and understand from them that what is the principle of this life. But not everybody has the realization to do that, and so we are fortunate that we can do that. And the other thing is, like examples given here, the Lord Chaitanya, he came as a devotee to show us what a devotee's responsibilities are. But he left home, left his 60-year-old wife, left his old mother, became a sannyasi. Now, thing is, Lord Chaitanya is not saying that we do the same thing, because we're not like Shiva. We can drink poison, right? We have our own capacities. So we follow the instructions, we follow in the footsteps, but we don't mimic them. We don't necessarily have to leave our young wives and like that, because we don't have the capacity to do that. We'll probably go crazy. We won't be able to handle that. So everyone has their own capacity. That's like probably the extreme. Then is God, like Shiva is a demigod, like that. They can do those things, but they're given a principle that we should give up the mentality. That's what we have to give up. Our viragya is the mentality that we are giving up, not necessarily physically giving up things, just the mentality and dovetailing those things in the service of the Lord. Does anyone say?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, isn't it like, don't you feel when we hear all the pastimes and realizations from each other, we are chewing the chewed, we know everything, isn't it? That it is said, Charvanam Charvaiti. So everything is there. We have been hearing about it. The problem is in the application. And we always say that we have got this mind compared to Krishna, we can't control it. But then Krishna says to us in chapter 6, we can control it. And then in the pastimes, Krishna gives us the pastimes of the great devotees. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna, when he is coming as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he's actually showing us how to renounce. Some people might say, oh, he can do that because he's got millions of Lakshmis serving him. in Krishna Lok, and here he is. Krishna, he's got everything, but he has showed us how he first lived in Nadia for Mayapur for 24 years, and then he went to the travel of the South India, and then how in the last days he was in the Jagannath Puri, and how much lamentation was there towards the end when he was reliving those pastimes of the Vrindavan. So these standards are very high. We can do at our standard, however we are, how our body is, and how our mind is, and how much we have actually truly renounced in the sense of renounce. Not that somebody else is doing Nirjala Ekadashis all the time, so I'm going to copy it. Look at your health, look at your situation. Is your job allowing you to do it? And if it's a mother, what's the point of keeping Nirjala Ekadashi if you're not going to cook for your children, cook for your sadhana, or do your daily sadhana nicely? And another doha which came to mind, suddenly this morning when we were reading this pastime, I read it in a very, very young age. I remember in a Hindi class, it was something like this. I don't remember it correctly, could be the phrase, the words might be wrong here and there. It was something like Mas Diyo Shivi Bhupne Dinho Hard Dadichi. So this Dadichi is the same Dadichi who gave up his bones when he was asked. And Shivi Bhup, Shivi was a king. He gave he cut off. He was a king, and he cut off the skin, the flesh from his body with his own sword. He was doing some kind of meditation or something in his gardens, and I think one of the demigods. I suspect it must be Indra, because Indra always does that. He came as a pigeon and asked for his his flesh, and he didn't even hesitate even once. He was such a generous king. He just quickly did that. So these have been real pastimes, whether it was done by the Lord himself as an avatar, as a plenary expansion. But nowadays, if I was comparing in my head, that what people do is people think that, oh, I'm going to prolong my beauty, I'm going to make myself aesthetically more beautiful. Open any magazine or just look at any billboard, you see everybody's got same kind of eyebrows, same kind of lips, same kind of raised cheeks and all that. People are just copying each other. But how cheap it has become. I'm sure Krishna must be fulfilling everyone's desires. Maybe these people have these desires, so they are doing this kind of nonsense, just going under the knife, not because they are ill, they want to get that illness out of their body, going under the knife, getting Botox injections and getting this and that just to plump their faces. Or sometimes you see very, very old people, especially celebrities, they have had their faces done, and they look scary. And I always think that when they look at themselves in the mirror, what do they think of themselves? Aren't their families or their well-wishers telling them that please don't do this? So instead of beautifying the soul, which is there inside you, waiting that you chant the holy name, or in any religion or any kind of any any other religion or any other way you remember God, you just do your own chanting, do that mantra or do that, read those scriptures. People are beautifying their external features, external body, which is perishable. It is not going to be there forever. It has come with an expiry date, but shame that person doesn't know the expiry date. Instead of doing the internal beautification, which is of the soul, which is sitting there quietly saying, okay, if you don't do this life, come back another one. So it's a shame. But anyway, I think we are minority. We are the ones, we have our time. Our time has come kind of that we have joined with the lineage. And these people are, maybe they are just fast tracking their karmas by doing these stupid things. So we just pray to Krishna, just like Srila Prabhupada did every time when he was talking to his disciples, that please, Krishna, never let me fall down. So we should all do the same, because we are not like Prabhupada. We are much, much lower than Prabhupada. Even we can fall down. So my prayers to Krishna, that Krishna, please keep the empathy in us, that we can see who needs help, we can help them, and we just keep doing what is right for us. And please, Krishna, as a Chaitya Guru, as Paramatma in our hearts, keep guiding us, and through the exalted devotees and the scriptures. Please keep guiding us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.